Day. Here is the news coming to you from the staple of African Television Network. I am Kafayat Ibrahim. Headlines: EFCC to pounds on 3 ex-governors after loot worth billions recovered. Treasury single accounts. Bank comments massive downsizing of workers. Read why Governor Dixon is celebrating. President Buhari leaves Nigeria on Monday. 17 killed in Zambia bus crash, police. Egypt's president asks oil minister to form new cabinet after government resigns. Rwanda president urges military unity after failed plot to kill army chief. Protests continue over Ivory Coast president's re-election bid. Saudi Arabia blames wind for deadly crane collapse, opens investigation. Ghanaian judges suspended amid bribery scandal file challenge. Iran says finds unexpectedly high uranium reserve. Now the news in details. The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, looks set to dock more ex-governors who have questionable records in line President Muhammadu Buhari's quest to recover the country's stolen monies. This follows rigorous grilling already dished out to ex-governors like Martin Elichi, former governor of Ebonyi State, and Sullivan Chimi, former governor of Enugu State. On the heels of alleged launching of state funds, 3 ex-governors may also be in EFCC's watch list. These former governors whose cases may be seriously considered by the EFCC include Bangida Aliyu of Niger State, Issa Iguda of Bauchi State, and Gabriel Suswem of Benue State. Interestingly, the 3 former governors reportedly left the country shortly after the change of government in their respective states on May 29. The directive from the federal government that every federal government ministry, parastatal and agencies should begin remitting its earnings into a Treasury Single Account (TSA) have had a spiral effect on the Nigerian banking industry. Since the announcement, commercial banks in the country have reportedly started sacking some of their staffs as they can no longer afford to keep them. This is because of the massive withdrawals of funds by the agencies from their existing accounts in compliance with the government's directive. Governor Seriak Dixon of Bayelsa State is in a very happy mood as his re-election bid has received a new boost following the stepping down of a gubernatorial aspirant on the platform of People's Democratic Party. Ruben Okoye backed out of the governorship primary to support the governor's aspiration to return to office. Dixon expressed his happiness to Newsmax shortly after a screening where he confirmed the withdrawal of Okoye from the race. This Day reports. It said that Okoye's decision to withdraw from the race was for the interest of the party and the state. The governor said that he will approach Okoye for the support to build the state. At least 17 people died when a bus and a lorry collided west of the Zambian capital Lusaka on Saturday, police said. The accident happened when the lorry caught in front of the bus, a police spokeswoman said. Fatal accidents are common on Zambia routes, most caused by vehicles being overloaded or not roadworthy. It was not immediately cleared why the government resigned, but officials told African Television Network on condition of anonymity that Sisi had been unhappy with the performance of several ministries. The announcement comes almost 1 week after the authorities arrested Egypt's agriculture minister over corruption allegations. Ismail will likely be approved the new prime minister, replacing Ibrahim Meleb, an engineer who held senior posts at several state-run energy firms. Ismail is seen as one of the best performing ministers. As oil minister, he oversaw political sensitive reforms and paid back some areas to foreign energy companies to improve Egypt's image among investors. Sisi has asked the previous government to carry on in the caretaker role until a new administration is formed. Burundi's president has urged the African nation military to stay united after a failed assassination attempt against the army chief. The military said 3 soldiers guarding General Nyongabo and 2 gunmen were killed when assailants attacked the general's convoy early on Friday morning. 6 others were wounded. The ambush follows a string of attacks on government and opposition figures over the past few months in Burundi, a country in turmoil since President Pierre Nkurunziza announced in April he will seek a 3rd term in office. Nkurunziza said the attempt to kill Nyongabo was part of plans to divide the military. Soldiers should resist from any form of manipulation aimed at the army and thereby the nation, Army spokesman Gaspard Baratuza said. Second day of violent protests broke out in at least 2 towns in Ivory Coast on Friday over incumbent President Alassane Ouattara's candidacy in an October election, witnesses said on Saturday. One person was killed and others injured on Thursday as supporters and opponents of Ouattara clashed. Police fired tear gas as they separated the two factions both days. The Constitutional Court on Wednesday declared 10 candidates, including Ouattara, who is heavily favored to win re-election, to take part in the October 25 votes. However, the decision sparked protest call from a segment of the opposition, among them a faction of ex-President Laurent Gbagbo's Ivorian Popular Front (FPI) party. Clashes broke out on Friday between rival groups of Gbagbo and Ouattara supporters in the town of Gagnoha, in Gbagbo's home region, and in Bonoha, the hometown of ex-First Lady Simon. Police moved in and separated the groups, it said, and there were no immediate reports of injuries. In Bonoha, police fired tear gas to disperse rival groups, who also threw stones. Saudi Arabia said on Saturday that storming winds knocked over the crane, which collapsed onto one of Islam's holiest shrines in Mecca and killed 107 people on Friday. Heavy rain and strong winds of unusual high speed led to the uprooting of trees, the fall of panels, and the collapse of the crane. General Suleiman Al-Hamir, Director General of the Civil Defense Authority, told Saudi-owned Al Arabiya TV on Saturday. The number of the deaths may increase, Al-Amir said. Many of the 238 people injured in the accident were only lightly wounded. It said Mecca's governor, Prince Khalid Al Faisal, has ordered all investigation into the incident. Al Arabiya said much of the city center is undergoing construction work and many high cranes crowd the skyline. The Grand Mosque itself is undergoing an expansion and renovation. Authorities have broadened access paths and imposed limits on the millions of Muslims who converge on Mecca to perform the annual rite in an attempt to reduce accidents. The visit to Paris will afford Buhari to hold discussion with his French counterparts, President François Hollande, on the war against terror and two-sided ties between the countries. 2 junior judges in Ghana have appealed to the Supreme Court against their suspension pending an investigation into alleged acts of bribery captured on video by an investigative journalist, their lawyers said. Ghana's Judicial Council on Wednesday suspended 22 junior judges who appeared in the video by an investigative newspaper journalist in the biggest corruption scandal to hit the West African nation's judicial system in decades. The journalist released the video to authorities last week and petitioned President John Mahama and Chief Justice Georgina Wood to remove from office the judges and other courts. The judges and other court workers who collaborated with them. On Friday, the indicted judges filed a court challenge saying that suspension was contrary to law and due process because transcripts of the video that were submitted by the journalist were not made available to them. They expose as unfair to the country which prides itself on the efficacy and impartiality of its judiciary. Iran has discovered an unexpectedly high reserve of uranium and will soon begin extracting the radioactive elements at a new mine, the head of Iran's Atomic Energy Organization said on Saturday. The comments cast doubt on previous assessments from some Western analysts who said the country had a low supply and would sooner or later need to import uranium, the raw material needed for its nuclear program. Iranian nuclear chief Ali Akbar Salehi said uranium exploration had covered almost 2/3 of Iran and would be complete in the next 4 years. That will be all for now. But before we go, we'll take the recap of the headlines. EFCC to pounds on 3 ex-governors after loot worth billions recovered. Treasury single accounts. Bank comments massive downsizing of workers. Read why Governor Dixon is celebrating. President Buhari leaves Nigeria on Monday. 17 killed in Zambia bus crash, police. Egypt's president asks oil minister to form new cabinet after government resigns. Rwanda president urges military unity after failed plot to kill army chief. Protests continue over Ivory Coast president's re-election bid. Saudi Arabia blames wind for deadly crane collapse, opens investigation. Ghanaian judges suspended amid bribery scandal file challenge. Iran says finds unexpectedly high uranium reserve. Thanks for joining us. See you next time. and bye for now.